Oh. Wait. That's my bad. That's my bad. Well. Dude, this song slaps. This is a banger. Ooh. Just rearranging some things. Mm. Oh, there was no sound. No. Well, you've got it now. Banger. It's slapping. Definitely hitting. Today, we are becoming the world's greatest detective because we have to go back to 1998, and I will not go back there unless I get the title of world's greatest detective. So, here we are. We're playing The Roottrees Are Dead. Dead. Gone. Dunzo. Finito. This clown couldn't rap anything but my burrito. This song is so good. So good. So let's see, it was a plane crash and they just disappeared. Oh, crash site, okay. All the passengers and crew perished. Mm-hmm. So are they just missing or like they dead? Whatever. New game. Rootree mania. The root trees are dead. Ripperoni. Ripperoni. Here we go. Ugh. Just seeing that loading screen just brought shivers up my spine. And I barely lived through, oops, I barely lived through like any technology from then. Oh my God. Incredible. Oh, they're from a corporation? Yeah. Maybe they should be dead. Never mind. Fashion lines and stuff. Ugh. Is it the Kardashians? Damn. I don't like knocking. I don't like knocking. Don't ever knock. Yes, I have. Why? I mean, I guess like dealing with like distributing like all the assets and stuff now that they're dead. Me, please. I'm a blood relative. Give me the money. Apparently so, if I've just got one just up on my wall. Uh-oh. Deal. I'm gonna make it so that I am a part of the family tree. Okay. So we need to complete the family tree for the Roottrees sisters. Oh, sleuth! Okay, so we've got a spouse with an unknown name, married with one of the sisters, unknown name, unknown occupation. Another one. What does clicking this do? Click on the face in your evidence. Okay. All right. We have to examine the evidence, search the internet for clues, fill in the names, fill in the occupations, fill in the photos. Siblings are in birth order from oldest to youngest. So let's see what this is. The person who hired you gave you this photo with a note attached. This was taken during the shoot for the Roottrees Sisters Got Milk ad. Oh my god. All of the images from my schooling with the cafeteria and how there were Got Milk ads everywhere there. Oh my god. And then it turned out that it was just like a big advertising scheme from Big Milk. And milk actually isn't that good for you. They were trying to have us drink it constantly. I think we had like a photo of like Shaq and stuff in like middle school. Crazy. Milk is good though. Milk kind of hits different. I don't know. I'm yawning. I'm so tired. I've tracked down a test photo from before they painted the fake mustaches on, which I thought would be more appropriate considering the circumstances. Ah. The ad's company reads, "You might recognize our faces from the magazine you're reading, or you might recognize our name from the candy bar you're eating. Being a root tree is a full-time job, but so is growing up. That's why the calcium found in milk is so important. Plus, you can't make chocolate without it." Oh, it's just Nepo. Just so Nepo. Yeah, zoom in. Rich bitches. Zoom out. Okay. Another one. Oh, man. List of names. This is provided to you by the mysterious person who showed up at your door. You'll need it to fill in the family tree. Yeah. Oh, wow. There's so many names there. Root tree, root tree, root tree, root tree. Oh, you can like highlight and stuff and copy. Okay. The third. Oh, the fourth? Hell nah. If you've got a third or a fourth added onto your name, you don't need any more wealth. It's just those two things. Okay. So, see the computer. Welcome.txt. Welcome to the Information Superhighway. Thanks for purchasing a new cashew. Cashew? Okay, cashew PC. Your PC is equipped with 56K modem, which is fast enough to access any site on the World Wide Web, even those with high-resolution images. Was it this bad? In 98? Were y'all this bad? I can't even imagine. If you find anything interesting, be sure to print it out with your included high-end color laser printer, or burn a music CD to listen to later. I am cringing. That's crazy. If you want to revisit a search result, be sure to use Netscape Explorers. New history feature. Happy surfing, and remember, cashew PCs are delicious. Cashew PCs are inedible. Do not try to eat your computer. Why would it be delicious? Hello? Oh. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Spider search. You can create notes quickly by highlighting text with your mouse. Ooh, right, it should be on here, right? With like the or was their name on the ad? No, their name was not on the ad. Okay, well, I guess we're going through the Roottrees. Root tree candy. Oh, okay. So this is just about their candy? Mixing with the recent news of the plane crash, there are a lot of results for Roottree's extremely popular candy products. Their official website is unstable due to the traffic it has been receiving. However, you find a direct link to the history section that manages to work momentarily. The Roottrees Candy Company was founded by Elias Roottrees shortly after he married his wife Gwyneth, whose family owned a small farm called the Anderson Maple Farm. For reasons that aren't explained on the page, it has no CEO and no stockholders. Instead, it's run by a president, with input and votes from extended family. The site does mention that every president has been a direct descendant of Elias and Gwyneth, including Carl Roottrees, who despite his death is listed as the current president. That's strange. The product that put them on the map were 5 pieces, maple candies with 5 different flavors that are dipped in a crispy, crackly candy coating. Since then, they have branched out to countless other products, all of which incorporate maple in some way. Their sister company, simply titled Root. Hey, I've seen Naruto. Okay, I know where this is going. I see. Yet you disappear them, right? But they're not actually disappeared. I know who they're working for. I know where they are. I've solved this mystery already. Their sister company, simply titled Root, specializes in children's clothing. The primary models for Root are the Roottrees sisters. Okay, well, there's that. Roottrees Carly. Nothing relevant to your investigation is found. Suggestions. Okay, so that's not. Gwendolyn. Nothing there. Win. Nothing. Roottrees Christina. Nothing. Lauren. Nothing. Gotta be getting somewhere. Hello? November? Okay. We're like out of names. What? Just none of these are bringing up anyone. You know, I wonder if I just search up Roottrees sisters. Okay. There are a lot of obituaries that focus on the Roottrees sisters' modeling careers. You also come across an unofficial Roottrees fan site, seemingly curated by a teenager. It's neon pink with purple text and hard to read until you highlight the words. The young webmaster writes. How do you pronounce that? Reina? Let's go with Ray. Yeah, Reina. Reina's the most famous because she's the oldest and got married to TMS. Okay. Wait, that. She's the oldest and got married to TMS, but Riley is a smart one. Rose is a middle child like me. Okay, you might think they're rich just because they're models, but their dad is also the president of the candy company, and their mom, Brenda, is a fashion designer. They do the modeling for a brand Root. I eat Roottrees candy all the time. My favorite are Maple Crisp, and try to dress in plaid Root clues like Riley does in most of the posters. Someday I want to get my ears pierced like Rose. The website's author continues to talk about her own life and what she likes about the Root fashion lines, but none of it is relevant. Okay, well, um, it's Reina. Mhm. Oh God. How do you spell that? And that just brings up that. Nothing else? Really? Hmm. It's spelled right? I was just gonna bring up the same thing over and over, huh? Okay, well. So we need to look for a TMS. Last name would be S. Guessing this person? Who you're married to. And then aren't they like models, right? I already forgot. Wait, was it under this one? They're primary models for the Roottrees sisters, yes. So they gotta be models. Riley's the smart one, the young one. So this is Riley, and how do you spell it? Am I crazy? Huh. RHOSE. But that doesn't bring out anything. Um, mm, bring up anything. Maybe Rose isn't their real name? Because didn't it say maybe... One, okay, well, Elias Rootree was the founder and first president of the Rootree Candy Company. You find what is essentially a propaganda site about him created by the Rootree Candy Company. At the top, there's a picture of him and his wife, Gwyneth. Picture's been added to your evidence. There's also a biography section that has some additional information. Elias is credited for inventing 5 pieces of popular maple candy. Before that, the farm he inherited by marrying his wife only produced syrup. After Five Pieces became wildly successful, Elias spent his time and energy on cementing his reputation as a family man. He's quoted on the site as saying, "Blood is thicker than syrup, and that any child linked by blood to me shall be linked by blood to my legacy." The site enthusiastically claims that he made good on that promise, but offers no additional detail. There are a few more quotes about Elias from a book called Family Man, The Rootree Legacy by Bess Williams. To say they are biased is a massive understatement. Below that, there's a long list of accomplishments and awards, and one stands out. Like his great-grandson Carl, Elias was voted Watchman of the Year. For you, Bess Williams is an author born in the 1800s. She lived just outside of Miami and died tragically young in a major hurricane that struck the area in 1926. Woo. Family Man. It's a very poorly received book about Elias Rootree. It's impossible to find a copy of the book these days. Okay. I searched this up. From marketing materials and various candy history sites, you learn that Five Pieces are the iconic candy sold by the Rootree Candy Company. Although they are no longer the company's only popular product, they still sell well to this day. Five Pieces are small, colorful, shell-coated maple candies that, since the late 20s, have been pressed into the shape of a maple leaf, although they usually have one flavor that looks more like a berry. As tastes have changed over the years, so have the five flavors, but the shape and combination with maple have remained consistent. There's also a history of print advertising website that claims to have a five pieces advertisement scanned from a book called The Sweet History of Candy Volume 2 by Charles Lee. Unfortunately, when you click through the website, it seems like all their image links are broken. Volume 2. Charles Lee? Okay. Brenda's their mom. Mm. That's how you figure out who's who in that photo, I guess. What the fuck? Yeah, they definitely look old as shit. Let me tell you. This is a famous picture of Elias and Gwyneth Rootree. It was taken in 1909 after they founded the Rootree Candy Company, but before it was a success. From what you found searching the internet, it seems quite difficult to find any site about Elias or Gwyneth. Ooh, that isn't accompanied by this picture. Elias and Gwyneth are the notable Rootree are on the notable Rootrees list in your evidence. They will be marked on the chart with a star. Okay, here. Carl Rootree. Carl Rootree died in the recent plane crash along with his wife, Brenda Rootree, and their daughters, the Rootree sisters. He was the president of the Rootree Candy Company as well as the clothing company Root, which he co-founded with his wife. According to news sites, the Rootree Candy Company plans to put out a press release sometime within the hour to address the absence of Carl, the crash, and the questions they have been receiving. Once you finish placing the Rootree sisters in the family tree, it would be wise to repeat this search. Which Brenda Rootree? You stumble across an auction for the black and blue dress as a Brenda White original. The auction describes it as a vintage dress from before Brenda became Brenda Rootree and started designing clothes for Root. The white and gold dress itself doesn't seem relevant to your search. Okay. Louise? trying to figure out the name of that other one because it said Rose, but I've found a Rose. Won't be there. Rose Roottrees is not as popular as her older sister Rhina, but still very well known. Most of the time, they're lumped together as the Rootree sisters. Unfortunately, the results for Rose by herself don't lead to anything different than what searching for the sisters together. Mm. How can I not figure this out? Am I going insane? I think I am. I'm going insane. So this is Rose. Okay. At least I can fill in the pictures. Okay. Riley dresses in plaid, which is her, which means you're her. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. I mean, it's gotta be Rose though, right? Did I already look her up? Yes. Uh, if I look up root, not how it's spelled and punctuated. It still says this, but their name isn't there. It's a clothing company. They make clothes for children from toddlers to teenagers, although their website is down, likely due to increased web traffic. You find countless retail sites attempting to advertise their clothes towards the target audience. One of them has this to say. We spied the Roottrees sisters look and hella fly on catalogs, magazines, and posters. Now you too can be like Riley Rose or Raina. You also come across a website from a collector of clothing catalogs. Apparently, Root has released 2 catalogs per year every year since 1984, and Raina appeared in almost all of them. There's only one the webmaster considers a collector's item enough to mention. It seems that Brenda Roottree, the Roottree sisters' mother and Root's head designer, appear on one cover holding her daughter Rose in 1985. The site says it's the only time her daughter was ever listed with her birth name, Carly Roottree. Okay. Carly. Done! That's what I was missing. Okay. Following optional entry. Booyah. I hate the Nox. I hate the Nox. Ah! Listen, I'm from the future, okay? I can use a computer. We're gonna lock you in a room, and you're not gonna be able to leave. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Easy. Of course. Okay. Yeah, I don't see why I wouldn't just fill in the entire thing. Five pieces. Okay. Easy. Are you a fake? Or are there fakes around? That's strange. Hmm. Wow. Sleuth! Before the person who hired you returns, every time you get 3 additional blood relatives in the family tree completely correct, name, occupation, and portrait, they'll be locked in. All non-blood relatives and small portraits are optionals, but placing them in the tree helps remove extra names and photos. Okay. Easy. Elias and Gwyneth. I don't know how to spell Gwyneth. Wait. You find some information on a website for the first Anderson Maple Farm. So Anderson is her last name. Before marrying Elias, Gwyneth Ritchie was Gwyneth Anderson. She had no brothers, so as the oldest sister, she was to inherit the Anderson Maple Farm, so long as she married. Before Elias took over, the farm produced only syrup. It was supposedly Elias' idea to create candy instead. Their success was not immediate. Until they decided to combine the maple with other flavors. This led to 5 pieces, which are still found in stores to this day. But the Roottrees Candy Company expanded well beyond their original farm. It has been preserved as a tourist attraction. According to their website, there are still daily demonstrations and educational tours that show off many of the turn-of-the-century appliances that Gwyneth would have used as a housewife in the early 1900s. Gwyneth Anderson, which I think is what I filled in, yeah, so. Correct. There's you, and that's you. Oh, wait. Do I have them the wrong way? Is this meant to be Gwyneth then? Okay. Have I looked you up yet? So what would be your occupation? It's not CEO, because like they don't have any CEOs of their thing, right? Or maybe he'd be like the first president? Mm, first president of the Richard Candy Company. Okay. You are the President Tay. And you, Anderson Gwyneth. I don't have to spell Gwyneth. This is gonna go good. Might as well just go back down to wherever she was. Uh, oh, it was gonna be like, what, a farmer? Is that on here? Farmer? I'm assuming. She was gonna inherit the farm, so let's go with that. We'll see, I guess. Oh god, this is so much. You can open this envelope after the whole family tree has been filled in, as two names that must be typed in manually. The clues are obscure, have been intentionally hidden in the past, and may even require some leaps in logic. Try to keep an eye out for any inconsistencies. Ooh. Whoa. What does this even mean? Okay. We should go for public figures first. Okay. I'm guessing this is gonna be like their dad or something, right? What is that? Hmm. Does she have like a kid or something? That can be gone. This can go to. So can that. Who's it gonna? Oh, I was gonna look up. Oh, do they get removed once you find them? I don't think so. Yeah. Oh no, I'm looking in men. I see. I see. I was gonna relook her up though. I have to like know the period. Yeah, no clue. If I spider search her now, does it actually come up with something? No. Notable Roottrees. The person who hired you gave you this list and said everyone on it could be found easily via your search engine. Rootree sisters, Carl Roottree, Elias and Gwyneth. I think I've found them. Carl Roottree. This should be our dad, right? Carl Roottree died in the recent plane crash along with his wife, Brenda Roottree, and their daughters, the Rootree sisters. I think I already read this. Short press release. It is with a heavy heart that we mourn the loss of Carl, Brenda, and the Rootree sisters. Filling his absence will be difficult and may take considerable time. They go on to list some of those accomplishments. One of them seems relevant to your search. Like his great-grandfather before him, Carl earned the highly prestigious Watchman of the Year title. Yes, I know who that is. Wait. Like his great-grandfather. Yeah. Yeah. This is his great-grandfather. He earned Watchman of the Year. So, I think this is Carl, right? Not... Pretty sure. Mm. Yeah, because their mom's not on here. Okay. Um... I keep forgetting where everything is. This is an advertisement for 5 pieces aimed at kids from the magazine Teen Blast. I mentioned the 5 pieces were named as such because the original creator had 5 children. The ad also mentioned that the current 5 flavors are not the same as back then. You've been in this line of work for a long time, so long in fact you developed a sixth sense for how useful your evidence can be. The numbers in the magnifying glass refer to how many clues are connected to a specific piece of evidence. At the start of your search, the notables list sets off alarm bells. A list of famous people that you can find via search engine? It's pretty rare to get something that useful. Best take advantage of it. As you progress, these numbers will change. Whenever you find more evidence or lock in family members, new discoveries will be added to the list and old evidence will become less useful. Trust your intuition. If a piece of evidence seems too good to be true, take a closer look at the people or phrases it mentions. Often, the most satisfying revelations come from attracting a path you thought was fully explored, armed with a new perspective. Sometimes the reason certain evidence has such high value is because it can lead to finding more evidence. You may be missing a huge chunk of the puzzle piece. A huge piece of the puzzle. That's what I just said. Okay. Maybe that's why kids still love them. Cool chocolate, so strawberry, power plum, awesome apple, bad blue raspberry. What even is an elderberry? Fair enough. Okay. What's this? The Rootree sisters and their parents died in a plane crash on December 6th, 1998. The next evening, a shadowy figure appeared in your door and said the lawyers were looking to sort the family tree. After a quick test, the figure gave you access to some resources. This included a list of notable Roottrees. This is literally what just happened. Yes, yes. Okay. So Brenda is his wife, which would make sense because she's got that white brand or whatever. Unknown occupation. I mean, I know he was a president of the family. President of the Roots Candy Company as well as clothing company Root. Wasn't there one that like I need to research, look up? I don't think I ever looked her up either. You discover a trivia page that lists common trick questions. The answer to what are the first names of the famous Root Tree girls lists the answer Brianna, Carly, and Riley. The explanation below the answer states that Rose was originally born Carly Rose Rootree. Apparently, her parents had planned to name a son Carl Rootree Jr., but after finding out they were having a second daughter, they called her Carly. Sometime in the early 90s, and now preteen Carly strongly expressed her dislike that her sisters had RH names, and she was the odd one out. That's when she began to go by her middle name. Fair enough. But isn't there a Carl Rootree on here? Rootree Jr.? Carl Jr.? No, I think I'm thinking of Elias Jr. Yeah. Does this mean that she has like a kid or something? Why should a little thing there? Maybe we can search up Brenda White. See if that Brenda. It's just that one. Public library. Yeah, wasn't there something in one of these that like brought up a book? I can't remember which one. Maybe this one? Highlight. How do I paste now, though? Is the issue. Alright, I guess I can just type it. Williams with the book title Family Man, the Root Tree Legacy. An old book about Elias Rootree. There's no downloadable version available because the book is so still impossible. Okay. Like that. Nice. Periodical. Okay. So you can go ahead and delete that then. How would we even get a picture of him? I guess is now the question. Because it didn't like print out a picture, did it? No. When I searched up Crow Root Tree. Can I just search up Root Tree family without even president of the Root Tree Candy Company. Will that bring up anything? No. Ooh. You know what? Good thing. What's Watchman of the Year? What is that? Business Watch magazine is a magazine focused on companies, CEOs, and the economy. They've been around for over 100 years in one form or another and will often write about major changes in management at famous companies. Every year, they offer an award to a prominent businessman who has furthered the field. They call this Watchman of the Year. You find through a few searches that 2 root trees have been featured as Watchman of the Year. Elias Root Tree and Carl Root Tree. Business Watch does not host any online archives in any site you can find via spider search, though you may be able to find individual articles and issues through your periodical search. Business Watch. Okay. Well, let's do that then. Oh, well, it just fills it right in, huh? Carl Roottrees. Carl Roottrees was voted Watchman of the Year in 1987 for his work with Root. The cover and a summary of the article has been added to your evidence. And then it was Elias Roottrees in 1936 for his accomplishment for rolling out 5 pieces to the global market. Okay. Elias Roottrees was voted Watchman of the Year by Business Watch in 1936, and a painting of him appears on the cover. The magazine says he was voted Watchman of the Year specifically to recognize the global rollout of 5 pieces. Inside the article is a timeline of 5 pieces. 1908, Elias formed the Roottrees Candy Company after marrying his wife, who inherited a maple farm. During the period before 5 pieces, the company is barely profitable. 1909, Elias has a daughter, the first of 5 children. 4 more follow, leading to... ... Elias invents 5 pieces. Highlight. 1922, Elias invents 5 pieces. Each of the 5 flavors is chosen based on the initials of his 5 children. 1 flavor per child. Okay. 5 pieces are first sold in some Pittsburgh markets. 5 pieces are rolled out to all of New England. The new recipe and flavor is finalized, and the candy begins nationwide distribution in department stores and other shops everywhere. The Roottrees Candy Company purchases every available maple farm in Pennsylvania in preparation for their global rollout. With the help of his son, Elias Roottrees Jr.'s architecture firm, a new industrialized factory and warehouse are built in Butler County. Production is tripled and worldwide distribution begins. There's also a What's Next section that claims Elias is going to pivot to ensuring his company's legacy and that the Roottrees Candy Company remains a family business. He plans to do this with the Clanced Trust. What's that? The Clanced, yeah. Trust is highly unusual corporate arrangement named after Clancy Edward Roottrees, who was Elias's son and the Roottrees Candy Company's head lawyer at the time. Due to its unique nature, it's often brought up in online discussions about financial matters and inheritance as an oddity. The company mandates that a fixed percentage of its profits are split every quarter amongst bank accounts. Representing each direct relative of Elias and Gwyneth. An account was created for each blood relative at birth and first accessible when they reach 18. The actual numbers have never fully been disclosed to the public, but due to the ever-increasing success of the company, it is a significant amount of money. The Clanced Trust is known for being essentially impossible to get around due to many checks and balances written into it. Still, there have been a few situations in which family members have tried to forcibly remove another member from the trust. Most details in line are pretty vague as the matters are handled internally. The only information you discover is from a university law school which apparently had a guest lecturer talk about the Roottrees vs. RR in 1994. While looking into the Clanced Trust, you often find mentions to the 5-piece guarantee, which went into effect at the same time. Okay, well, let's look up this person first. You know, let me go ahead and actually... So I don't forget, I'll just highlight. And then I'll highlight this one too. And then we'll go into this one. Oh, and you just bring up the same one, huh? Okay, well. Well, I guess we can highlight that because that would have to go into what you do for a job. I guess. And you can spider search you. You find very few details about this particular incident with regards to the clan's trust. A student that attended the lecture about it wrote the following on a legal oddities website. From what you can tell, RR attempted unsuccessfully to remove a fellow family member from the trust. It was said that RR attempted two arguments. First, the person in question was born out of wedlock, and second, they committed a significant crime against a fellow family member. Still, due to this ironclad wording of the clan's trust, it was impossible to remove any direct descendant of Elias Roottrees without completely dissolving the trust. There's no additional information online. Go ahead and highlight that because that's probably going to be important. Can I move these? Are you able to move these? I guess you could do that. Or if I reorder them? Okay. Business watch can go away. That is about his child, that's about his child, about his child, about his kid. This one can go away. Okay. Okay. Ah. American school terms. Okay, well that's that. We've also got this one, so now we got a picture of him. Carl Roottrees was voted Watchman of the Year in 1987. A photo of him appears on the cover. Before they married, Carl's wife Brenda was a fashion consultant. When Raina was born, Brenda retired to become a stay-at-home mother, looking for a creative outlet. She spent any free time she had at the sewing machine. Ah, Raina's new clothes were a hit with other parents, including Carl's cousin Jim Roottrees. Hello? Am I dying? Ugh. Carl's cousin Jim Roottrees, a notable singer. Which would have to be either them, or that. Which has to be this. Which means you are Jim Roottrees. No? Maybe if I look this up. Wait, but there was still stuff on that page, I'm pretty sure. Still do the ironclad wording of the clan's oh no. What was I looking at then? Oh, it wasn't here. Brenda's patterns being copied by other brands, seeing the demand, Carl and his second cousin, Ernie Jr., who had just become president of the Roottrees at the time, spearheaded Root. Okay. Highlight that. I should order this. So it's like first gen, second gen, third gen, fourth gen, fifth gen, sixth gen. Oh my god. There's so much. That's crazy. How is that not Jim? That's gotta be Jim. Ernie Jr. He seemed to directly precede Carl Roottree, and one website even says he was Carl's mentor. He was apparently very successful as a president, but not so much as a public figure. He was rarely seen in public and stepped down due to illness in 1996. He has since passed away. Hmm. Well, so, I mean, at least we know he was a president. Um, I think that would probably be a better highlight. Well, that's also a second cousin. Okay, and then Jim Roottree. James Roottrees is a singer who sings in the duo Jim and Diamond with his wife Diamond LaRoe. The duo, according to many sources you find, is considered a one-hit wonder due to the disco song Rollin' On Down to the City. It's now in your evidence folder. Sick. Although Jim writes the majority of songs, plays the guitar, and often sings, Diamond is considered by fans to be the band's lead singer. The band never had another hit, but has its fans, who refer to themselves as Diamond's Dazzlers. The rest of their music is more folksy and acoustic than the one song they were known for. Jim and Diamond have continued to release music through the 80s and early 90s. Other albums you find mentioned are Cherry Tree and Sound of Laughter. Jim has become a bit of a recluse. Were these not considered a part of it? Unless she wasn't a founder or a farmer, but like, what else would she have been? A housewife? Oh. I should have known. Yeah, just because she's inheriting the farm doesn't mean that she's a farmer. Okay. Now I can have the other photo of him. Okay. Um, second cousin, Ernie. What is with this? Split up. She's like products of a divorce. I think it has like reminders for like what second cousin is. People that share the same great grandparents, but not the same grandparents. So it could be any, could be any of these people. Any of these? Well, I got these people. Got their pictures. Rolling on Down to the City was barely a top 20 hit. Oh, yeah. According to the liner notes, a satire tests how a part of society was content to remain indifferent to economic inflation and civil unrest in the Middle East, unless pop culture tricked them into caring. Somewhat ironically, listeners didn't seem to pay much attention to the lyrics not to trick them into caring. Instead, most of his play came from roller discos. Because it was such a product of its time, it doesn't get much play anymore, even on stations that play oldies. Maybe that's why you never heard of it before now. This image is from an auction from a sealed copy. It has a sticker that says, "Only the great-grandson of Elias Roottrees could make disco this sweet." It is credited to Peter J Jonowitz from MMM. Music and lyrics by Jim Roottrees. Vocals by Jim Roottrees and Diamond LaRoe. Jim Roottrees is on the notable Roottrees list near evidence. He will be marked on the chart with a star. The lyrics of the song contain no clues. Hmm. Oh. Mm-hmm. A short sample of one of the songs called Sun. Hmm. I mean, Stazzlers? A vibe. Absolute bop. On down to the city. Diamond Dazzler is the name of the official fan club for Jim and Diamond. You find a forum post called "Cool Things You Got in the Mail" on a random forum about video games. One reply mentions that Jim and Diamond still send out a Christmas card every year to Diamond's Dazzlers. It's accompanied by some pictures as well as some history about the fan club. Apparently, even though it is no longer available to join, Jim and Diamond still honor it themselves personally. There's a fierce debate in the subsequent posts about whether that's cool or pathetic. Amongst the pictures of Christmas cards from over the years, only one is relevant. The card from 1996 included pictures of Jim and Diamond's young son, Wolf, as well as a note about his daughter's band, the Floozies. Okay. There we go. That picture's been added to your evidence. Okay. Sound of Laughter. An album by Jim and Diamond released in 1989. You can't even find a picture of the cover. It doesn't appear to have been very successful, and reviews seem middling even from fans. Some basic liner notes exist on a Jim Roottrees fan page, and it states the lyrics and guitar are credited Jim Roottrees and the vocals are credited Diamond LaRoe. Is there anything else on this page? I don't think so. Unless it's like this one. I don't. That would. No. Is like searching up his actual name gonna find anything? No. Mm. Oh, this one. Here. Jackowitz. From MMM. Let's just try Peter Jackowitz. Jonowitz. Jonowicz? Jackowitz. Seemed to be a music critic. You can find a mention on the fan website about a band unrelated to the Roottrees. He used to work for Modern Music Monthly before the magazine went under. MMM is an abbreviation for Modern Music Monthly, a magazine from the 40s to the early 80s. It went out of business due to high competition from much more major publications. Okay. No, I can't even move them. Put that there then. And then we'll go here. Modern Music Monthly. Channel. Wait. Wrote a great many reviews and articles from Modern Music Monthly. You don't see anything relevant anywhere in the first few pages. Results, and there are too many results to look through them all. If you're looking for specific album names or artist names, you may have better luck searching for those instead. That's kind of a dead end, I guess. Is there anything else? I don't think so. I think that's about it for that. This one. This is the album. And one of the songs is called Sun. The website you found it on did not have a full version, but you managed to find a start preview of the song's chorus. Hmm. Found a photo of a Christmas card from Jim and Diamond to their fan club in 1996. The description said it included a picture of his son, Wolf, listening to his parents' latest music. So one of them is Wolf. It's him. He looks young. I'm guessing he's like a student, right? Is there like a occupation for student? Oh God. Yeah, I don't know. Is there another one of her? I don't think so. I don't think we found it yet. Delete that one. His daughter's band, the Floozies. Yes. The Floozies are an all-female punk band operating out of New York City. They're mentioned in passing in an online review from earlier this year. Apparently, they were the opening act for the band the reviewer actually came to see. The reviewer writes that she normally doesn't review the opening act, but this one was unusual. Not because of the music, which she described as loud, fast, and repetitive, but not in a good way. Ooh. The trio was extremely cagey about their identities. The reviewer asked the venue who they were, and she was told they were rumored to be the children of other famous musicians and didn't want that to be why they became popular. The reviewer also mentioned that for an underground and unknown band with absolutely no following, their equipment was all extremely expensive, and not only were they selling CDs, but they only cost $1. They were probably losing a fortune. The reviewer said although she bought a copy, she would be unlikely to ever listen to any of it again, except maybe Beef Baby. Beef Baby? Beef Baby? Except maybe Beef Baby, the seventh track. There is no picture of the Floozies performing live, but the cover of the CD they were selling, Coinstabor, has been added to your evidence. Beef Baby. Beef Baby is a song by the Floozies. You can't actually find anything else about it anywhere, but with a name like that, it's not hard to speculate on the subject matter, isn't it? Could it be a euphemism about a newborn cow? Perhaps the Floozies are holding a grudge against a toddler? It certainly piques your curiosity. If only I had the time or research to look into it further. Well, nope. Alright, well, I thought maybe that'd bring up something cool. Guitar, vocals, Candy, bass, Nikki, drums, Nina. Original vocals. Did it say anything else about it? Well, because there is a Candy, isn't there? There's a Candy Roottrie. Yeah. So that must be their daughter then. Candy. And then she is a musician. We can look up Wolf Roottrie too. Hmm. Maybe it doesn't pop up. Maybe looking up Candy. Nope. Okay. Well. Mm, anything else on this page? Did that bring up anything? That just brings up the same thing. Okay. That's about that, I guess. I still need to figure out what he does. Mm. If I look up Jane's your true mother, is it gonna... Is it possible? No, okay. Thought it could be a little sneaky. Hmm. Maybe... Okay, here we go. A review and entry from 1979 titled "A Reluctant Hitmaker Jim Goes Into His First Band." Until a few years ago, Diamond and I were in C and J and D with my cousin and his ex. Okay. Clark never knew his father, so our grandpop insisted he spend time with my dad and me. Clark. Clark never knew his father, so our grandpop insisted he spend time with my dad and me. As a result, Clark and I grew up like brothers. Diamond and Jane, on the other hand, are actually sisters. Okay, so the four of us had sort of a cutesy family band thing going on. Not our finest hour. Regardless, when Diamond walked in on Clark in bed with their youngest sister, everything exploded. No more family band. Hmm. The other thing Clark and I had in common was music, but even then, we never agreed on what it should be. He was always more interested in catchy tunes, something you hum a week later. I've been told Roland is like that, but that wasn't my goal. When he called me up and said he liked it, I took it as a sign I was going in the wrong direction musically. That made him laugh, but I'm trying to make art. I don't mind saying any of this because he'd agree. For most decade, he was a mess, but he's a lot happier now. He started Raffer Tunes, and he's a much better jingle writer than songwriter. One of the benefits of our famous family is a massive company willing to be a client. That's also how my father was connected to Roottrees. All of his old ad campaigns were hung on the walls over the record player, but I was never interested. I just went straight for the music. I guess Clark was paying more attention. Is that Raffer Tunes? Clark Rafferty LaRose advertising firm. On it, there's an About page, and you find a picture labeled the inspiration of the famous Super Bowl ad campaign. Oh, that is more detail. Clark was in a department store getting a friendly portrait with his wife and children, and when his wife was trying to get his youngest, Katrina, to calm down from the picture, he had the idea for the Roottrees Super Bowl ad. The photo is now in your evidence. Okay. What is this? This seems like a mess. So it's like their kid, and then they got married, split up. Got married, split up. Still had a kid though. And got married again and had two more kids. Okay, what did I figure out? Clark. A band called C&J and J&D released one single called These Times. Some of the user named Diehard Dazzler scanned the cover and noticed that it cost him over 200 bucks at auction. Apparently, this was Jim Roottree and Diamond LaRose's first song together. He also mentioned that it was performed with Jim's cousin and Diamond's sister, and it was only somewhat similar to Jim and Diamond's later works. You can't find anything else about Die Hard Dazzler, the band, or the single, so all that's left to do is add the scan to your evidence. After a blazing fast 35-minute download, the track is also available. Okay. These times. Play it. Mm. LaRose. Mm. These times. No, skip it. Oof. Oof. Clark Rafferty. He never knew his father. I think this might be Clark. Because they would have to have the same grandparents, right? Clark never knew his father, so our grandpapa and sister spent time with my dad and me. And they got married. We know because he had children with his wife and children. Oh, it could be this one though. Because that's still split up. Wait. No, wait. Oh god, I'm getting confused. I'm getting myself confused. Grandpa. So it's got to be one of them. And he never knew his father. Right, so they were cousins, right? Hmm. So it has to be his cousin that didn't know his father. But they have kids themselves. So it cannot be this person because they have no kids. So this could be him. Maybe. Except. But just because they're both there doesn't mean they didn't know who it was. I would just kind of assume it would be split up though. Except they have an ex. So this means they were split up and they would have gotten with someone else and they would have had a kid, but then they would have split up and they would have gotten with someone else and then had two kids. It's gotta be them. This has to be Clark. There's literally no way it's not. I don't know which one they are. Oh no, this one. He has an advertising firm. Youngest is Katrina. Which looked like it was her. If I look up LaRoe sisters, does that pull up anything? I don't remember how to spell LaRoe. Um, isn't something LaRoe sisters? No, okay. Hmm. It would definitely be there. He has a firm. It's a marketing firm. Aha! Okay. All right. Booyah. Oh yeah, you're back. Yeah, okay. I don't believe that. Oh my God. Good luck to me. Okay. So that means I found those. Okay. Vote for Stephanie Jones for City Council. Better for Butler County. This was buried under a ton of other mail that Carl left in his inbox, and a handwritten note attached that seemed personal. It is a flyer about a candidate for local office, Stephanie Jones. On the back is an excerpt from a newspaper article from the Butler County Times about her campaign. Stephanie may have grown up in an unconventional family to say the least, but in her words, it was still full of love. And now, 22 years later, with a baby of her own, due around Christmas, her message for voters is simply, love is our future. The handwritten note says, Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye when it comes to the candy company, but if you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement supporting Stephanie, she could use the publicity your daughters bring. Don't let our conflict spread to the next generation, CM. Hmm. So that would be like one of their. No, it wouldn't be one of their kids. I think if anything, it would have to be third gen. Speaking of, this needs to be ordered. Okay. Yeah, second gen. Oh, well, then I'm just gonna put second gen. Third gen. Fourth gen. I'm pretty sure there's a fifth gen. Is there another gen? First, second, third, fourth, fifth. They're a part of fifth. So, no, fifth gen. Okay. Okay. I mean, I can kind of guess they're gonna be a student that's either CEO or CEO. It's probably college, I would assume. Family trees use surnames from birth, even if the person changed the last name after marriage. Always use a person's most recent occupation. Mhm. Okay. So that should all be correct. Third gen. What was that? What was the 5-piece guarantee? I know I've looked this up before. Oh, maybe not. The yearly salary of Roottrees president is always locked to the price of a single pack of 5 pieces. When the 5 piece guarantee went into effect, this was 25 cents a year. Now it's closer to $4. Combined with the Clint's trust, however, it makes a bit more sense. Elias wanted to ensure that only his direct relatives could afford to be president, and he knew that He knew that because their passive income was tied to the profits of the company, they would have a vested interest to keep the company as profitable and successful as possible. Whether or not this was a smart or successful decision is widely debated both online and in person by economics enthusiasts of all levels of expertise. Hmm. Well, I guess that's not really relevant then, huh? I can just click that to go to it, can't I? This is gonna be other. Reorder. Third gen. This. Gonna go in other. That one's gonna go into other too, because I'm not quite sure. Or R. Oh, maybe that has to do with row. No, that's L. Never mind. Out of wedlock, though. Because I think they would have had someone out of wedlock. Clark. Let me go here because they are not. Carl's cousin Jim. Yeah, which we already did, so that can be deleted. Carl's second cousin, Ernie Jr. Right. Carl and his second cousin. Which... What was second cousin? People that share the same great-grandparents, but not the same grandparents. So, anyone. Okay. Mm, I think I looked up Ernie Jr. Yeah. Just brings up former president. That directly preceded Carl Roottrees. So, okay, let's just close this right now. So if we're going, I was the first president. Second president would have been one of their kids. That doesn't make sense though, because he's the fifth. So the fourth could also be somewhere in here. You would kind of figure the president would be a notable figure. But also, if they are a notable figure, then that means that none of their kids are president. And he only got notable figure because he started Root. Not because he's president. Oh, siblings are in birth order in this entire thing. Oh. Did I get her? Oh, I didn't get it right. I didn't mark hers right. I'm guessing because she's older. Mm. Just put you there. I'm guessing. He might be in college though. I don't know. Mm, maybe guess college? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. So this one, generally don't know where that would go. So other, young son. It's got to be K-12. Oh, Jane. So it'd be Jane LaRoe. I wonder if I just search up Diamond and Jane, if that'll pop up. Mm, it literally says J there. Or, yeah, J. This is how my father was connected to Roottrees. So he wasn't born a Rootree then? Well, he must have been. Dun, dun. Mm. Which also means I can add her portrait and this kid's portrait. She would also be a student. Don't know your name because it didn't pop up. Mm. Is there any other Rafferties on this list? Jessica. I guess I can fill this out, right? Aha! Look at us! Oh my god. Which means you did click correct the candy thing. Okay. The mom. LaRoe. Which means their mom has to be LaRoe. I think. LaRoe Diamond, LaRoe Jane, LaRoe Kim. Which I'm pretty sure. Mm, no, it was something to do with Jane. No. It was something to do with like your youngest sister. I don't think I, what's it called though? I highlighted it. Mm. Mm. Am I just going crazy? Unless it was in here and it was one of these things. Hmm. I think I'm going insane. I swear there was something where like he cheated though. Why can I not find that now? Hmm. Roottrees Maple Super This Rootree Maple Super Bowl commercial from 1994 has a family bickering in an apartment store, and the father bites into a Rootree Maple crisp. Time stops, and a jingle plays while he dances down the aisle. As he does, different things in the department store become Rootree candy. For example, a bed the father collapsed onto becomes a giant chocolate bar. The jingle Need the Rest went on to be featured in other commercials with other scenarios. Mm. This is a famous jingle for Root Tree Maples originating the Super Bowl commercial. The jingle goes, when you're surrounded by madness, mayhem, reach for the best. There's enough there to share, but let's face it, you need the rest. Mm. No. How do you how do you spell it? La Roques. I already looked that up though. Game. Way down the credentials section of her biography, it mentions she got her start as a young girl when she was Jane LaRoe of the Lucky LaRose. It also mentions to only contact her ancient in the event that you actually wish to hire her, and that any and all inquiries about her past or her sister would be ignored. I'm guessing this is Jane? Because there's another LaRoe. Del Vecchio. Mm, Lucky LaRose. Oh. No, she's blonde there, so I'm guessing she's the blonde here. I'm guessing this is Jane. Jane Del Vecchio. If I look up this last name, no. I'll put Jane in front of it. Mm. If I look up talent for hire. Mm, does not look right. Mm, um, mm, always be the son of. Is there a cherry at all in the list? What am I even doing right now? Hmm. Um. And how am I supposed to figure out who's who here? One of them has a beard, which he has a beard here, so I'm guessing because he doesn't have one. I'm guessing around the beard, and the other one, not a beard. Well, they still have the name LeBron though, so is this no? Because that can't be Jane though, because she wouldn't just have one picture. Why do they still have the last name LeRoe though? If she's not a LeRoe, unless she is, because there was that thing. I swear I saw a thing where there was another sister. But I cannot for the life of me figure it out now. I don't know why. Mm, I feel like I'm like missing the one that has it. No, that wasn't it. I mean, I guess if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think this has to be Jane because there's a picture. But I don't think these count for like real people, so who knows if it's wrong. Even if they split up, they still had a kid. Okay, here we are. This is it. When Diamond walks around Clark and Beth, their youngest sister. Unless they just mean Jane. I think it's gotta be her. Because there's a Kimlero. And where would they come from if not? Because any kids he had would have his last name. So why would they have Laurel? Unless... No... I don't know. Whatever. I think that can be deleted now. Hmm. Have I looked them up? Architecture firm. I looked you up. I had lawyer. Hmm. So there's still a clue here, huh? Hmm. And it was a fashion consultant. The parents, including Carl's cousin. Yep. Other blood relatives who have a say in the company's finances refused to fund anything other than candy, so Carl personally spent his entire inheritance to bankroll the clothing company. When the profits began to appear, however, the rest of the family changed their tune. They repaid his investment, and now Root exists under the umbrella of the candy company, and they all benefit. Per tuition, per tradition, or perhaps superstition, new clothes always debuted the way the first ones did. Raina became their catalog's cover model. As she grew, the product line expanded to older kids as well. Her younger sisters were then recruited to show off the baby clothes. Carl was voted Watchman of the Year primarily for his personal gamble and ensuing payoff. Yeah. It's this. It's what I was tucked inside an envelope with a letter beneath a candle in the corner of the office. Letter says, to Carl and Brenda, I'm sorry that you were unable to attend the funeral. It's traditional to have it as soon as possible, and Ernie, more than anyone else on Earth, knew how busy your job can be. I've enclosed a Shiva candle identical to yours if you'd like to pay your respects, though it's not expected for those outside of the faith to do so. Ernie was a man full of love, not only for his family, but for his family's legacy. He had an immense amount of pride for the work you three did together, as well as how Carl has carried on for him after taking over. As for myself, it is impossible to express my gratitude enough for rescuing us from the panic and burden of endless bills. Though we caught it too late for him to get on the donor list, the company took care of us beyond our wildest expectations. It went unsaid at the time, but Ernie and I knew it had to have been Carl that convinced the trust, and that it was no coincidence that it happened shortly after your visit, Brenda. Up until the end, Ernie and I had to stay strong, especially for Nicole's sake. We could never have done that much without the two of you fighting for us. Much love, Debbie. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. This photo has a note attached from your employer. Here's the bonus. When I pulled the water damage picture of the free spirits to the frame, this fell out too. Written on the back of the photo is, couldn't make the reunion, wishing you well from Paris, Gwen and the boys. Flight school, one of them's a pilot, okay. The free spirits. Nothing. It's just more of this. This photo has a note attached from your employer. Every 20 or so years, the Roottrees would hold a big reunion and recreate an old family photo. This is the one from the 70s, and Carl's the teenager in the middle. Start with the water damage, a pipe burst in Carl's office. Yeah, there's water damage. On the back of the photo in childish print writing, it says November. There are also a large number of cursive signatures. They include Bonnie, next President Guy Hudson, Ernie Jr., Caroline, Gwyneth M., Gwendoline, Miracle Jr., Jim Roottree, Clark, Carl, and Eli M. Hmm. So this is Carl? Mm, Gwen. I'm guessing that's their kid's name. Because her name was Gwyneth. I'm guessing they had a Gwen Roottree, right? No, they specify. Look them up. Gwen. There's also like a Gwendoline though. Hmm. I wonder if this is November, since they're the only child in the photo. Hmm. Pretty sure I've searched up 5 pieces. Yeah. They used to have old tastes. I don't think this is the old one. Maybe this is the old one? Yeah, the current 5 flavors not the same as back then. Hmm. There's still a hint on this one. Hmm. Yeah. Contains no clues though, but it says there should be another clue. What clue? Oh, you can get hints? Campaign mailer. CM. Who would have CM? Morton Caroline? Hmm. So talk to your girls about supporting her. How would they be related though? Oh, oh, I forgot about these. You find some information on a website about old films that are not yet available on VHS. The site is not very well organized, and the search is broken. We go to get to individual pages from your search engine. Gwen Roottrees is a somewhat well-known actress who was active in the 50s. She often appeared in tabloids, especially around the time of her highly publicized divorce. Her biggest role was the minor hit movie Guys Like Us. She left Hollywood after the flop of Christmas Mission. There's a widely circulated picture of Gwen from behind the scenes on one of her movies, which you've added to evidence. Did you know trivia? Gwen was the granddaughter of Elias Rootree, the founder of the Rootree candy. She shouldn't have been named Rootree, but her father took her mother's famous name, which was quite rare in those days. Okay, so um, so she would have been the third generation, and she got divorced. So I think it'd be her, and it's Gwen. GWY. It's her. Marked on the chart with a star. Yes. And she was an actress. Actor. And she's the granddaughter. Yeah. Something here. Guys Like Us. You find some information on a website about old films that are not yet available. Guys Like Us is a 1953 film in which two secretaries cut their hair short and pose as businessmen to get ahead in life until one of them falls in love with their client and hilarity ensues. Starring Gwen Roottrees, Leslie Florence, and Harrison Lane. Did you know trivia? The title is a play on words, or it can be read that two women are men similar to other men, or that the men are fond of them. Okay. Gwen Roottrees, Leslie Florence. Leslie Florence was Gwen Roottrees' co-star in Guys Like Us. Not much relevant information, as she does not have any additional credits on the site. There isn't even a Did You Know trivia section. About Harrison Lane. Harrison Lane was a television actor with a major role in Guys Like Us and some other films. His largest role before Guys Like Us was as the villain in the first season of Western Frontiers. Due to the popularity of Guys Like Us, the studio brought Lane back to play the villain's twin brother, this time as a hero joining the protagonist. Western Frontiers has no connection to the Roottrees. Harrison Lane seems to be a dead end. Did you know trivia? Harrison Lane married his high school sweetheart after they reunited at a movie premiere. Maybe that's who she married? That's who she got divorced from, maybe? Yeah, Western Frontiers, I learned nothing. Okay, Christmas Mission. Christmas Mission is on a page called Flops. It was a war movie about World War I released in 1955 that received poor reviews and lost the studio money. Gwen Roottrees had a role as a soldier's wife who wrote him letters from home. You find no additional relevant information. The movie was marketed as an incredible true story, but no record of the events happening has ever been found. Hmm. Was it just that I added? I would think it would be easier to find stuff about her, but I feel like I'm not. Let's see. Oh no, you wouldn't have much. You. I feel like that would be important. I don't know. Let's add it. Hmm. Well, we found Gwen. Red root tree. Strange historical facts. Aloysius Herring Rootree, aka Red, was an appointed judge and politician who earned his nickname ironically because he was the ambassador to Ireland for only about 6 days. Oof. He served what some people contend is the shortest term in He served what some people contend is the shortest term in history. A few days after he was appointed, he was heard disparaging his position and the Irish people. He then tried to run for state senate. He claimed to be related to the Rootree Candy Company in a newspaper ad, but it came out the last name was merely a coincidence and he was defeated in a landslide. Hmm. Um, was it something about her that she did something like that? Or she shouldn't have a name Roottrees, but her father took her mother's famous name. But no, that wouldn't be right. Hmm. Hmm. Damn, no one notable on this side. Oh, what does the fish mean? Oh, so that means he's not eligible, right? Because he's not actually okay. I see, I see. So is he like wiped off this list too? Or he just wasn't on it to begin with? Yeah, he just wasn't on it to begin with. I see. Okay, so we've got Rafferty Clark, Rafferty Chris, Rafferty Jacob. One of these could be Clark's dad. Hmm. Here they would come up though. Lauren Rootree. Author Lauren Rootree, a distant relative of the Rootree sisters, is known for a book, A Life Between Wars. According to a website about famous authors in the early 1960s, Lauren released a few romance novels under her married name, Lauren Rafferty. To little fanfare. When her publisher learned she had been keeping diaries about her famous family, they insisted she release them under her original name, Lauren Rootree, to take advantage of her family's notoriety. Oof. The selection of diary entries released in 65 as A Life Between Wars spans from the untimely death of her husband in World War II to coping with the post-war world as a young widow and mother, as well as her perspectives on changing times and socialites, all the way through the entry into Vietnam. While the content is not considered particularly relevant to modern audiences, it has found new life as an exercise in high school English classes to show an evolution in writing style and for a look into life in previous generations. After success of her diaries, her publisher re-released her romance novels under the name Lauren Rootree. This included Romance in Court, which gained popularity. She followed the re-release up by writing two new sequels, creating what fans referred to as the Court Jester series. You can find no recent details about Lauren, as though she is listed as retired. Lauren Rootree is available in a lot of libraries. Okay, A Life Between Wars. Let me highlight that. Oh no, it would be under Rootree. Here we go. This is a book occasionally taught in schools. You'd find a hardcover edition for students that have full-page, high-quality pictures in it. A summary of the contents of the book, photos, as well as some particularly relevant entries to the diary have been added to your evidence. Oh my god, how much? That's insane. Literally crazy. If I search up Lauren Rafferty, it's gonna bring me to the same page. Yeah. Man. Romance in Court. Romance in Court is a book by Lauren Roottrees. It is the first and most famous of a series of 3 books, often called the Court Jester series. All 3 books in the series are about different romances, but told via the same narrator. You can probably surmise the narrator's profession. The 2 other books were called Return to Court and New Romance in Court. Searching for them online yields few results. The books had some popularity when they were released in the late 60s. Now, 30 years later, they aren't in high demand. Let's see if I can get that, though. Romance in Court. A romance novel by Lauren Roottrees. About the author, blurb mentions she has an inspiration from one of her brother Clancy's lectures in the Middle Ages. Okay. The below are notes and observations you made while skimming through Lauren Roottrees' diary pages in the life between wars. Lauren Roottrees is on the notable Roottrees list. Yes, yes, yes. The book was published in 1965 and consists of diary entries that stretch from 40 to 65. The most important event that much of the diary and Lauren's thoughts revolve around was the loss of her husband, Jacob. Jacob died in the final months of World War II while Lauren was pregnant. This left her to raise her son Clark alone. Lauren never remarried and only had one child. Her son Clark. Okay, so I know who this is. So this is Jacob. And this is Lauren. Oh. She is an author. I'm guessing this is them. Jacob and by skimming the pages of the diary, you glean the following information. She was the granddaughter of Elias and Gwyneth on her father's side. Yes. Her mother's family was called the Coselles, but she hardly ever mentions them. So that's her. Cosell. Sarah? Sarah, no. Yeah, I switched it right. Okay. Her mother's family is called the Coselles. Her father, who she always referred to as Pop, was the head lawyer for the Roottrees Candy Company and helped write a legal document called the Clance Trust. Where's the Clance Trust? Where's that at? Clancy Edward Roottrees. Does that say that was her father? Yeah. Nancy Edward Roottree, and he was a lawyer. I don't know if I have a picture of him though. It's clear from context the Roottrees have internal shorthand names for the different generations of their family. Lauren used them often. Five Pieces, the first generation of children by Gwyneth and Elias. Lauren's father was in this generation, the next generation, Lauren's generation, the Free Spirits, the generation after Lauren's, including her son. Okay. So these are the Free Spirits, which means that this one, which is the Free Spirits, is the kids. Was one of them a pilot? This is flight school, doesn't it? Oh, film school. Mom's got film school. Well, would it be one of them though? No, because it could be. Hold on. Wait, that says Gwen. Didn't we fill in Gwen? Gwen. I thought I was cooking, and I'm not sure if I'm cooking anymore. The generation after Lawrence. This is Lauren. So it would be this generation that was the Free Spirits. And I feel like I think that's her mom and her kids. I think you're one and you're another. I don't know who you are though. And one of you goes to film school. Oh, oh. Oh, okay. So am I still missing something from this then? I think I got everything from this. Complaints. An entry entitled Complaints from Lauren Roottree's Diary, written in 1953. This entry seems to focus specifically on one of Lauren's family members, Gwen, who was on the notable Roottree's list. It seems everyone has something to complain about. Gwen, as an only child, complained of loneliness. I told her that being expected to watch after three younger brothers didn't feel like a blessing, but it fell on deaf ears. Oh yeah, she did have three younger brothers, huh? So these are all guys, which we already knew, but during the summer where I went to stay with her and Aunt Margot. Aunt Margot, one of these. Oh, oh, that's gotta be her then, right? That's gotta be her. Margot Light? I hope she would be the sister I never had. Or, wait, no. I think this might be. She went to go stay with her. Oh, that's probably more. Well, well, she wasn't born one though. So that can't be her. It's gotta be her. Because it has to be her aunt. But she cannot be a root tree because these are the names they were born with. So she wouldn't have been born a root tree. The only one that would have been born a root tree is her. So it's gotta be her. I hope she would be the sister I never had, and then I'd be the same for her. I even tried to dye my hair blonde to fit with the two of them. What a mess. But she just complained. To her, I was the lucky cousin. Now she's off living the glamorous life while I'm stuck here with Clark. Trying to find something to plug my phone in. I'm guessing that will charge it. Uh-oh, that did something. Oh! I think my earphones died. Oh, man. I mean, I don't need to hear this to play, but you know what? My phone's super low. My phone's super low. My headphones have died on me, so I'm gonna charge it and then I'm probably gonna play this for longer today. I'm just gonna go ahead and eat lunch and then we'll restart the stream. This is fun though. This is fun. We've discovered quite a bit. There's still so much more. I'm pretty sure about these two, but I could also be wrong. But also, there's another photo here that once we unlock them, then get that. So, you know. Yep, we've discovered, we discovered her. We discovered her. So we need one more to, like, make sure that we got these correct. So we have this person, we know their name, we know everything about them except for their photo. Which they could be in here, but also they all look quite young, especially if that is third generation, then he wouldn't be there. So there's probably older photos that I just haven't gotten to just yet. These people I am unsure of, but yeah, we'll figure it out once we get another person on here so we can lock the fuck in. So, yeah. This is going to be the end of the stream. I will pick back up later. So we can figure out what's going on. I thought this was going to be like a mystery, like the Roottrees weren't actually dead, and you had to figure out like what happened to the three sisters. These three. I did not realize that it was going to be like this. But yeah, this is fun. It's a lot of reading. There's still a whole other side of the family tree that we just started in on. Also, shout out Lauren Roottree. Oh my god, your diary has been so helpful in finding people so far. And we're just getting to the very beginning of the diary too. So yeah. I'm gonna end the stream. And I will see you guys later. Bye!